I have been in Rotary for 40 years. I was working for a company called SeaPak in St. Simons, and president of our company back then, Jack Kofor, he invited me to join the club and take his place. Back then, we had a very strict classification system, so it was an honor to take his place as a representative of SeaPak. I came to St. Simons in 1976. That was when I finished my PhD in food science and technology at the University of Georgia. And I had two job offers. One was at University of Wisconsin as an assistant professor. The second one was at SeaPak in St. Simons. And when I realized the winters and the snow in Wisconsin, I said, well, let's get back to St. Simons, enjoy the beaches and enjoy the life for 1 year. By the way, I also got married the same year after my PhD. So let's have kind of a honeymoon and have a good time. And after 1 year, let's get back to the real life. And so that's how I got here. Little did I know back then, I'll be talking to you now, 40 years later, from St. Simons Island. I do remember clearly my first glimpses into how a Rotary Club is run. And our Ed Bruce, back then, he was treasurer of our club. And I can tell you emphatically that Ed ran the club. I can also tell you that he was a true Rotarian. The way I define a Rotarian as one that commits to service, community service, humanitarian service above self. And so he was the one that took me under his wings immediately as I joined my club and taught me how a treasurer actually does his job. And then he taught me the job of a club secretary. And that really got me involved. And also that allowed me to get to know the community because through the money and the membership dues, I got to know individual Rotarians, who's doing what and why and how and etc. And so I had immediate connections, I would say within first 6 months, through the community under its leadership in our Rotary Club. My strong urging or recommendation to a new member is to please reach out and find not only the member that sponsored you, but also the others that are actively involved in various service projects, and find one that engages your own passion, your own heart. And that's how I got connected to the community in St. Simons. And that is absolutely essential for us, not only for you as a new member, for us also as Rotarians, to make sure that we are finding ways to engage you in your own areas of service that you like to do. By the way, some Rotarians feel good by donating money. That's fantastic. We need that. Also, some Rotarians really feel inner satisfaction through service projects, service activities. We need that. Also, we need Rotarians who do both. So we need those. Then we have those Rotarians that are focused on a single purpose or a cause. We need them too. So Rotary clubs, and this is where the district also comes in, give them a choice to pick from or choose from a wide variety of projects, not only in your community, within your club, but also at the district level and then at the global level. I tell them, you joined Rotary because you have passion for service. You want to do good. And many times we want to do good, but we are not quite sure exactly how our time, our resources, and our talents can be put to good use. So in Rotary, you have that opportunity to associate yourself with the various professionals because of the classification system we have, and then observe them in action, and then align yourselves to work with or partner with Rotarians in your own club or neighboring clubs, or even with the leaders in the community working for other organizations that believe in similar causes. Partnerships beyond Rotarians is another way to engage yourself with the community and make a difference. And the Rotary allows you by providing you the process, the structure, and the resources you would need to implement your goals and your ideas of service. The district governor's role is to strengthen and support clubs, Rotary clubs. In District 6920, we have 63 Rotary clubs. We have large clubs that are more than 100 members. We have small clubs with less than 10 members. But what is common across all clubs is the service. And we have a motto called service above self. And in my opinion, and in my personal belief, it is that service above self that uniquely positions ourselves as Rotarians. Because many of us, we do service. But in this case, Rotary provides us an opportunity to provide service that will allow us to stretch and to really experience the joy, the inner joy of giving. And that will transcend the physical gains or the prestige or the power that sometimes we associate with success. So I see the avenues of service that allows us to provide our talents to the benefit of community we live in as well as greater good is what makes a Rotary a vibrant community, and a community that I was attracted to and I still am for the 40 years of my life. I serve Rotary as a district governor for 6920 for 1 year term. My term started on July 1, 2017, and it will end on June 30th, 2018. I just told you a few minutes ago that I have been a Rotarian for 40 years. So the role of a district governor is like passing a baton from one governor to the other. So we have this long relay race. And in this race, our goal is to provide service, the humanitarian service, and do maybe slightly better than last year, have higher goals, aspirational goals than last year, but always moving forward, the organization. So my primary goal this year is to support and strengthen all of our 63 clubs, like the goal of all the district governors. By the way, we are 535 district governors in 200 countries, serving 1.2 million Rotarians this year. And so I'm one of them. Strengthening, supporting our clubs, helping them to align their goals and purposes to make a difference this year. I have my philosophy about increasing membership comes from my own personal experience and my passion for Rotary. When Jack Cofer invited me to join Rotary, I considered that an honor and a privilege to serve. Now, if I joined Rotary because this allowed me to say that I am a member of Rotary Club of St. Simon's Island because it gave me the name or the prestige. That's not what attracted me to Rotary. That's me. But the service and getting involved in the club within the first year, first 6 months, is what got me going. Motivation to serve and find that this is the club I want to be with. These are the group of Rotarians that can energize me in service. So for me, bringing a new member is not a math. Yes, we have to keep count. But I want to focus on attracting Rotarians that have similar purposes, have a burning desire to be part of something bigger than themselves. Because the true service above self brings that inner joy of serving. So that's the way I look at it. So this year, as I visit the 63 clubs, my focus is more about inspiration as to why we are Rotarians and how we want to make a bigger impact in our own communities first, and then more importantly look at our privilege and honor to look at the new generations of Rotarians that follow us. I told you I was brought into Rotary by Jack Cofer 40 years ago. I was pretty young back then. I'm now young at heart. Now I want to look to the future and say, can we do something now to engage and inspire the young generations, the new generations of Rotarians? So we are now looking at the ways, creative, innovative ways, Rotarians in District 6920 in all 63 clubs can begin to work with high school students, those are our Interact students, college students, those are our Rotaract students, and bring our talents together to do greater good in the communities. This year, one of the significant projects we undertook is around entrepreneurship. Why? Because when you look at America as a country and what makes us uniquely separate from other cultures is our innate desire to take risk and start our own businesses. And so Rotarians who are professionals have the proven skills to not only start a business, run their own business, employ people, and keep doing good, both professionally and also through Rotary clubs in humanitarian service. So for me, entrepreneurship is a perfect way to look at focusing the Rotarian skills, both personal passion and professional skills, to put to greater good and make an impact in our own local communities, starting with elementary school kids, middle school children, high school students, and technical schools, career academies, and colleges. And so that's what the thinking behind engaging 63 Rotary clubs and focusing them to explore opportunities to partner with schools, chambers of commerce, career academies to promote entrepreneurship in their own communities. This year also, as part of our goal setting, to make a difference, make a bigger impact in our communities, we learned that the poverty level in Georgia as compared to the rest of the nation is very high. And within Georgia, the geographic area that is within District 6920 is one of the poorest in Georgia. And as we began to delve deeper into poverty, we found that many of our citizens in our own communities are falling through the safety net in getting the medicines they need for 4 classes of life taking diseases: diabetes, hypertension, cholesterol, and asthma. So we began to ask this question: can Rotarians and Rotary clubs partner with like-minded organizations and provide help by giving these citizens that are now maybe losing their lives because they cannot access the medicines they need for these 4 deadly diseases? Can we take on that project? So we then found that MAP International in Brunswick, and President Steve Sterling, who visited our St. Simon's Club and gave us a program and talked about the greater good MAP does throughout the world. They ship medicines worth $600 million and above throughout the world each year, right here from Brunswick warehouses. So we began to have a conversation. Can MAP bring its resources domestic, do some good locally? And Steve was already thinking along those lines in terms of what MAP might do to help right here in this country, right here in our community. And by the way, Steve is also a Rotarian. And another connection with MAP, the founder of MAP International, Ray Knighton, he was a Rotarian. He moved MAP to Brunswick probably in 86 or 87. And I was president of my club in 83, 84, so I was still very, very active in the club and the community. And the club invited Ray, and he became one of the leading members of the community and a Rotarian from St. Simon's Club. So my connection to MAP goes back, way back to 80s. And Ray was a member as long as his God-given health allowed him. So when I found this opportunity that we can potentially partner with President of MAP International, Steve Sterling, and do a pilot test to establish or to assess the viability or the feasibility of engaging the Rotary clubs in partnership with the MAP International and the local clinics, and target these 4 classes of diseases, identify the patients now being left behind or falling through the cracks, provide them these medicines for 1 year, and then assess the results. And this will allow us to look at the actual impact we make in saving lives of our own citizens in our own communities. And if that result validates or verifies our hypothesis that yes, this will save lives, then we can use this model, Rotary MAP Clinics Partnership, as a new model to change the delivery of health care to most vulnerable populations of citizens in our own communities. And the Rotary and MAP and the clinics then become the leading contributors of health and well-being in their own communities. You have heard me talk about these major projects, entrepreneurship and saving lives with the medicines projects. So the question is, how do you consider if you are successful or not? So we have measures in place. So let me give you 2 examples. First, on entrepreneurship. Out of 63 clubs, on July 29 in Dublin, we had 17 Rotary clubs make a commitment to form partnerships with their either local school systems or chambers of commerce or their career academies and make a goal. That goal is to bring that story of their success story to Jekyll Island during April 27-29 at the All Club Celebration Conference. So my success will be measured by the number of students and the new generations representatives. This includes, when I say representatives, it could include elementary school, middle school, high school, career academies, and colleges and technical schools. So we will measure our success on the number of these Rotary clubs bringing their partners to Jekyll Island and participate in the Rotary Showcase. So that is one measure that can be measured. And by the way, in the Rotary Showcase, we will have an opportunity for these young people to share their business ideas and business cases and as to why someone should invest in their idea or their company. And the Rotarians can get to experience that. And what a wonderful way to motivate, energize, and engage our youth in the idea of them not only getting a good grade in school, not only being good in STEM education or STEAM education, not only good in creating a robot or whatever service project, or if it is agribusiness, creating products from our own local grown, Georgia grown products. So what a wonderful idea to have them tell their story to us who are natives. And then we can help them with our talents to further nurture that entrepreneurial spirit. And so for the future, so we are thinking of a 3 years plan. So Margaret Jacobs, she is our district governor-elect from the Rotary Club from Jessup. And District Governor nominee Mike Muldowney from St. Simon's Rotary Club will continue on this path. So we will have a 3-year plan of continuing support for entrepreneurship, and then we will measure the results at the end of 3 years. And based on those results at the end of the 3 years, we can further define the future of entrepreneurship initiative and partnerships in District 6920. Similarly, with the MAP International partnership and the clinics, we are now planning to ship. This is a tentative target date for first shipment of medicines for these 4 classes of diseases to go from MAP International to SeaMap clinic in Brunswick and Partners for Health clinic in Valdosta. First shipment to be sent on September 1. And once we get that done, we'll be then bringing along 1 or 2 additional clinics into the pilot. And so by June 30, 2018, or even better, by April 27-29, for our All Club Celebration Conference, we will have tangible results of the number of lives we are saving at each clinic, as well as the newer clinics that are coming in as to how well they are engaging their indigent or poor population, so that there is a synergy between bringing in efforts to bring in those patients right now being left behind. We need to bring them along so that they not only get the medicines, but they will be able to take them on a regular basis. So we have plans. So truly make a difference on an ongoing basis, provided during the pilot test we begin to do that. And so we have a plan, we have goals, we have critical control points are the key measures we can use, and then use those measures to assess how we want to fine-tune it or improve this program for the future. Yeah, I have my own training and consulting company. It is called Innovation Business Development. And what we do is, me and my daughter. My daughter is an engineer from Caltech and an economist from Kellogg Business School, Northwestern. And so we decided to keep it as a small team. And we bring in the experts from around the world for specific skill sets we need. And what we do is we work with companies to improve their innovation performance. What does that mean? So we help companies to do a better job of launching new products or new services. And so how does that benefit a company? For example, in the old days, back in the 70s and 80s and the 90s, average companies took 9 ideas for one success. Utilizing the best practices and implementing them in organizations, companies that are good in innovation or mature in their innovation performance will be successful on average with 4 ideas to 1. This is proven. Also, if you take an average company that took 9 ideas for one success and they have certain amount of profit or gain from new products and services, with our innovation process, implementation, and the best practices, the profits will double. And that has been proven through research, scientific research, and validated. So what do we have now? You work in new products and services half as hard, and your output or your profits is twice as much. And this is what we are all about. And we have done that, of course, in this country, in China and India. And from 2000 to 2012, people I was interacting with or training with are large multinational billion-dollar companies. However, since 2012, I began to focus on small and medium enterprises. And while they may not be able to pay the fee like the large corporations do, there is much need to build the skills, the competencies, or the innovation capacity of small and medium enterprises. And so I've been doing that since 2012. I serve on the board of International Network for Small and Medium Enterprises. And this past May, I was in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, at our annual conference, and I invited RI past President Frank Devlin from Mexico, who at age 70 plus was recognized as Entrepreneur of the Year in Mexico. And I was so happy to see Frank deliver his leadership lecture about entrepreneurship, starting with the Rotary as the main topic. And he said the only reason he is giving this kind of presentation to these 700 leaders from 17 Latin American countries, including trade ministers, was because me, as a governor-elect, has invited RI past president. And then to talk about entrepreneurship through the eyes of a RI district governor or a RI president, leadership. So his presentation was fantastic. And I really felt good that finally I was able to bring my professional skills and my Rotary skill sets together. And Frank Devlin was so happy to do this for me. And I was so happy that he did it for me. And it was personal. And the impact really made me a better Rotarian. I learned much from Frank. So when you are in Rotary service, you never know when you get that inner joy of serving others. So that way, we are blessed to be Rotarians.